What's up? I'm Ben from Readysetink, and today we're talking about all the Amethyst cards in the new set 6, Azurite C. And we're doing this so we know what the cards say, and we know what decks we can brew. We're going to talk about it. We're going to look at these enchanted cards. We're going to talk about every card and what I think that they go well in. This is Hades, Lord of the Dead. He's got the Soul Collector. During your opponent's turn, whenever one of your other characters is banished, gain 2 lore. Overall, that's not bad. I like it. Lots of times your characters are getting banished, and this one lets you win for doing that. And then his flavor text says, you could say I'm big on the catch, not so much the release. And 2 of these words are bolded. That's because he's got like Hercules' soul going into the big old lake of souls. You know what's up. It's 6 uninkable, 3/4, pretty good stat lines. Not the best stat lines, definitely not the best stat lines. It's a 6 uninkable, should be able to change the game, and kind of does. Maybe it's fun in Blurple with like a hey, because if it banishes, then it goes back to your hand. Maybe that's kind of cool, but it's on your opponent's turn, so you have to like make them want to banish you somehow. And you can do that with lots of 3-questers. Maybe this is fun in Blurple with cards like Caterpillar, like stuff that quests for 3. And cards like Duke of Weaselton that quest for 2, like annoying cards that are going to quest for big numbers and then you want your opponent to banish them. This might be what you use it for. Quest for 3, it's a good deal. The first Amethyst card that we got right there, card number 36. Madam Mim. This one popped off in the sealed challenges that I did this last weekend. Anytime you pull her in your sealed or draft or whatever, I recommend her. She's pretty good. She's spicy. She got the Challenger 1, and your other characters gain Challenger 1. So she's just a 1/3 when she's challenging people. But this other ability right here, your other characters gain Challenger +1. And I put some characters at Skull Rock. That's a red location card from this set. And it gives your characters there +1 strength. And then this gives it plus Challenger 1. And then you're just hitting for big numbers, right? And then you can take out cards like Pluto. No problemo. This card, a little bit underrated. It's a little bit costly for what it does, maybe. But giving all of your characters +1, I guess Lumiere just does it way better. Yeah, Lumiere is just a way better card. But this is 3 willpower. Lumiere, better card. You know what I'm talking about? The red cost 2 ink that puts everybody up by 1 strength. That's a better card than this card. But this card works well in the draft if you're looking out for it. This is the Genie, the 4/3 stat line. It's a big body and it can hit hard. This is a boat carved out of potato? What's going on here? For the Indecisive Sailor, we have 3 ships in 1. It sails, it flies, it Julian fries. All for the low price of just 1 wish. I wouldn't spend my wish on that boat. That looked like a potato. This is Sisu. She's got the Challenger +2, the in her element Sisu. I call her Sisu Water Dragon because this one sure does look like a water dragon, if you know what I'm talking about there. It's the 3/6 stat line. It's okay. And it's got the Challenger 2. So it goes to a 5/6 when it's challenging. Or you just use it to quest for 2 lore. That's what I did in the draft. I don't see this useful in meta decks, but kind of useful in the draft because you can get up to 5 ink pretty easy. The new White Rose, one of the best new cards in the set. I say anytime that you can play a card and get lore, any on-play effects are okay with me. On-play effects are underrated. You need more of them in your deck. This one says you play this character, gain 1 lore. It's like the Merlin Goat, but it only happens once. And it's a good deal because it's for 1 ink less. It's a 3/3 stat line. It can survive some stuff. It can take out some stuff. And it gets you a lore. It gets you a lore. You can challenge into something. The White Rose, Jewel of the Garden, pretty good deal. You can learn a lot of things from flowers. Alice, dun dun dun. Is that straight from the anime? If it has this open book thing, it's straight from the anime. But if it's like a little doofangle, we'll show you in the next one. This one, a little doofangle, that means that it's not straight from the source material. This is Juju on the Bee. Mama Odie's companion. And he's a little snake. Look at him. Oh, little snake eye. Sir Hiss. Psych. Mama Odie's companion. The 1/2 stat line. That's okay. Cost 2. You put down a 1/2. That's okay. But you're using it for the ability that gets around resist. Because it says when you play this character, move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. It gets around resist. It gets around other stuff, but it doesn't get around board because you still have to choose a character. We like it, not that much, but you can get rid of characters like Mr. Big. Mr. Big is a steel card, and this can get rid of Mr. Big. This could also just challenge Mr. Big. So I don't know what I'm talking about there, but that's what I'm thinking about. I'm kind of thinking contained into this set right now because I'm coming off of a weekend of doing 3 sealed tournaments, all of which did not go favorably for me. This is Rafiki, and he is a new shift target for the new Floodborn Rafiki that we'll talk about a little bit later. But this is the pure vanilla. This is like the Flounder stat line. You know it. You love it. The 1 cost 2/2 Shaman of the Savannah. Storyboard, mentor, sorcerer, things. And he has got some flavor text here. The signs never lie. The snake thinks he's planned for everything. Oh, ho, ho. He forgot about the owl. There's hope yet. What owl are we talking about? I don't think we know that. This is Tinkerbell, the evasive, fast flyer, Storyborn ally and fairy, and she pairs so well with the new Tinkerbell as not only a shift target, but other stuff, mostly for questing and being evasive. People think that maybe the best fairy deck build would be a steel purple build, because you can have like blue fairy and you can have this Tinkerbell and then you can have the Tinkerbell giant fairy. But I think the Tinkerbell fairy build belongs in the green purple decks. But I don't know. That's just my thought. It probably works any way you want. She zips through the waves without a drop of water touching her. How does she do that? Let me know in the comments section down below. The Carpenter, I don't know what this guy's about. I don't know what he's from. Probably Alice in Wonderland, because I haven't watched that movie very much. I'll get you when this character is banished. You may exert chosen character. When is this character banished? Usually on your opponent's turn. And then you exert a character. That could ruin their questing strategies if they forget about it. Or you banish this by throwing it into somebody, and then you exert another opposing character, somebody like their Beast Tragic Hero, and then you take them out. It's a lot to do a little. It's a lot of ink to do a little bit, where there's other cards that like do it on play, like Pinocchio on play, cost 2 uninkable, and then exerts chosen character. But this one is banished. So it's a little bit of a surprise. It's a little bit of spice, but it's not the most amount of spice. The Carpenter's stomach growled as he clenched his hammer tight. And then the flavor text of this card gets finished off by this card. It says, while the walrus finished off the lot, down to the final bite. That words pairs to those words. And they're sitting at the same table. But what's that? Iago's in the middle here. Is he in the middle of the dinner table? Is this all connecting art? Probably not. These are separate things. Are these drawn by the same people at least? Carlos and not Carlos. The different artists doing connecting art, kinda. Doing connecting flavor text? I don't know. Iago, super good in your sealed tournaments. I'm not even joking. Like, I took this out of my sealed tournament, and then David used it against me, and then David used this card like 4 times in a row. Boom. Character is banished in a challenge. Return this card to your hand. If this is banished, it goes back to your hand. So he just kept throwing it into stuff, and it has 4 strength. This could take out Plutos. This could take out all sorts of nonsense. It's super good. I like this card a lot more now than I did before. And it bounces back your hand. So good. Stuff that makes stuff bounce to your hand, good deal. This is the Walrus, the Greedy Gourmand. The 3/6 stat line, which as we said is not the best. And it pairs with the Carpenter, but this one is way beefier. The 3/6 stat line. What else did we just say have 3/6? This is 3/6. But this costs 1 less. So what would you rather have? This quests for 2 and has Challenger 2. This is more valuable. This gets a lot of more value for 1 ink. But they're both, oh, this is uncommon. Huh, interesting. We don't want to talk about it anymore. This is Scar, the Tempestuous Lion. Tempestuous? Like a tempest? Dreamborn. Villain. Sorcerer. He's a sorcerer. That's so cool. I did not notice that he had that keyword. That's why we're doing these videos. Scar is a sorcerer. That's what's up. And he's summoning these crazy lightning storms in 4/4. Pretty good. But he's got the rush ability, and that what makes him go from pretty good to pretty great as an uncommon. Not bad. And his art, some of the best art that we've seen. Challenger +3. This thing goes to a 7/4 when it's challenging, and it's going to challenge when you play it. It can take out those sharks. It can take out those Maui sharks, one-shot them. That's what we gotta do. It can take out other big stuff. What else has 7 willpower? Probably not a lot of stuff. It could one-shot this walrus and then stay alive. It could banish it and not be banished itself. This is the Tinkerbell that pairs with this Tinkerbell. This Tinkerbell shifts into this Tinkerbell, and this Tinkerbell gives other Tinkerbells more lore, and that's what we'd like to see. The Queen of the Azurite Fairies. Show me more Azurite Fairies, please. The Floodborn ally. Queen Fairy Captain. 5/6 stat line. The best stat line in Lorcana. Can't get better than that. Costs 7, which is a bummer, but you can shift it. You can shift it for 5. Being a 5-drop is okay. Being a 7-drop is hard, but if you play it in Blurple, maybe that'd be fun. Shining example. When this character quests, your other fairy characters get +1 lore this turn, and it can quest for 2. So you quest for 2. It's evasive, so mostly it's safe, but it's not safe for Maui Shark. Maui Shark's going to one-shot it. And then it gives your other fairy characters +1 lore this turn. And that's mostly like the Anna that quest, and then your heroes get more lore this turn. It's cool. We like it. It's a little bit of synergy. It doesn't work very well. Diablo, people are going nuts over. People think that this might be better than Magic Broom and Chatterbox Followers. And there's another one. Is there another one? I don't know. This one let Cusco. When this card is banished, you may draw a card. So you put this out. You do your thing, you quest with it, maybe you shift into a green Diablo. It's a good deal. He's here. He's a better Diablo shift target. Just kidding. Hand knowledge is so good, dude. That 1-drop green Diablo. Mwah, too good. The March Hare. This is from Alice in Wonderland. It's got Rush. And it quests for 2. I don't think that this is a good stat line for rushing, especially at the 4 cost. I think I'd prefer to see this at a 1 lore and be a 1 less ink cost. But that's just my opinion. Here's the Magic Carpet. Magic Carpet can win you some drafts because it quests for 3, and you can put it out for 3. It's got the 1/3, but it's got no evasive. The other Magic Carpet has evasive. Why doesn't this one? It's the Amazing Flyer, and we get a good close-up of this character's design. It's a good one, and he's going through these crazy waves in the Azurite Sea. Overall, a great art. Overall, this should have gotten an enchanted. Am I right? Tell me in the comment section. This is the Rafiki that shifts onto the other Rafiki, the 1/2/2 vanilla. But this one is so much more than vanilla. This is a 9 uninkable, which is crazy. That's a crazy number to see on a card. 6/6 stat line. Almost the best stat line in Lorcana. I prefer to see a 5 right here. Am I right? And quest for 4. That's too many. But it's got another ability. It says during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, which is maybe once a turn. If you're playing Blurple, maybe it's more times a turn. You may draw a card. That's what's good. And then it quests for 4. You could quest with the Alice, the blue one, to give this thing ward and then give it +1 lore. It can quest for 5 and have ward, and then your opponents won't be able to take it out with their damaging spells. They'll have to put characters into it in a challenge, and then it hits back for 6. I like this card. I'm going to play this card in a video soon. I like it. This is Genie, and Genie is one of the most hyped cards right now. It is the replacement Rabbit. It's the We Got Rabbit at McDonald's because it's better. Maybe because it quests for 2. Rabbit lets you draw 2 cards, essentially. This one lets you draw 1 card, but it's evasive. It's got the 2/4, so it survives a little bit more than Rabbit. No, Rabbit has 4. No, Rabbit's a 2/3, definitely. But it quests for 2. Would you rather have this or Rabbit? Tell me in the comments, why is this way better than Rabbit? What's he doing to his armband? Is he making those the boats? Wish fulfilled. He's being set free. Wow. Oh, does that feel good? That's what he says. That's what his flavor text is. This is Sisu, not the water dragon. This is the uniting dragon. She's uniting with all of her siblings. You know it. Storyborn, hero, deity, dragon, 3/3 stat line. Not the best, but it's for the dragon tribal deck. If you have a bunch of dragons in a deck, this is the Sisu to use with that Wombo combo. Whenever this character quests, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a dragon character, put it in your hand and repeat this effect. Otherwise, put it on either the top or bottom of your deck. This is not a May effect. So, if you have an entire deck of dragons, you could draw your whole deck. Yep, we're going to have to do that. That's going to be a silly Wombo combo. If we have all dragons in our deck, we lose. I like that. Is that possible? I think we might have to search how many dragons there are. For dragons, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 dragons times 4 each. That's only 36 dragons that we could have in our deck. So there's only half of our deck we could have as dragons. But who knows? Maybe we'll get more dragons soon. Hopefully soon, so we can have the full deck of 60 for Sisu to lose the game for us. That's what I want to do. That's why I want to show up to League Night with a whole deck of 60 dragons, play this Sisu, draw my whole deck, and lose. I want to lose all by myself, and I think that'd be a funny thing to do. Now that we're done talking about Sisu, let's talk about Madam Mim, and mostly let's talk about why Madam Mim isn't next to the other Madam Mim. Why is the order different? Like, why can't they be next to each other? Why is this Mim over here and this Mim is down here playing cards? I'll never know. I'll never accept the answer. Oh, Bat Gizzards. 2 ink, choose and discard a card. Gain 1 lore. This is also a very interesting card because it doesn't say to gain a lore. This is also a very interesting card because it says it doesn't have the word to gain 1 lore. It just says choose and discard a card, gain 1 lore. So if you can't choose and discard a card, do you still gain 1 lore? It doesn't say to gain 1 lore. I think you can pay 2 ink. If you don't have a card to discard, you can gain 1 lore. And if you have 10 ink, you can gain 5 lore. I think that's about what's going on here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it should be super rare for a reason. I'll give you a sporting chance. I'm mad about games, you know. The Madam Mim, truly marvelous. 2 and 3. It's truly marvelous. It's super rare. I think that's why it would be a super rare, is if you don't have to discard a card and gain a lore. Like, it's that good. Let me know in the comment section if I'm going crazy or if that is what it do be like. This is Yzma, a legendary card. But is it really? And it has an enchanted version. Ooh, sometimes on Dreamborn, the enchanted's up here and then the regular art's down here. I don't know what's going on with this one. You exert it. If you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. That's a pretty good deal. Or is it? Because it's only a 3/3 stat line. Yeah, I can quest for 2, but you're not going to be questing for 2. You're going to be using it to draw cards. Is it worth a Friends on the Other Side? Oh, I guess it's kind of worth a Finders Keepers. Finders Keepers is a 5-cost action that lets you draw 3 cards. This one can also let you draw 3 cards, but you would have to have no cards in your hand. And if you're playing this in Blurple, which I think might be the best color combination for this, then you won't have it. Does this fit in aggro? This might fit in aggro, because you could draw 3 aggro cards. This is an interesting card. I don't know. I will have to see some deck lists that play this card in order to make a more accurate judgment about Yzma. Mama Odie, whenever you play a song, you may move up to 2 damage counters from chosen character to chosen opposing character. So it has to go from any character to an opposing character. It can't go to your own character, even if you want to be weird. You can't do it. That's not your choice. And she's got the Juju snake right there. And we like that. This is great art. Thank you for making this card. 4/5 stat line. 5 uninkable. Not the best, not the greatest, but we do like moving damage counters sometimes. This is Peter Pan, and I had him in a lot of my packs that I got for the Seal tournament, and I tried to use them. There was just never a good point where there was a different 4-drop that I would want to use. I always wanted to play a different 4-drop instead of this Peter Pan when I had him in my hand, which was a bummer because he's uninkable. So he just stayed in my hand for a very, very long time. He's the shadow catcher, and you can see that his shadow is doing a different pose than he's doing. How is that even possible? That's not how the sun works. During your turn, whenever character is put in your inkwell, exert chosen opposing character. It's a little bit too late at turn 4, but maybe not. Maybe it's good. It doesn't have evasive, doesn't have ward, doesn't have a way to survive to just have this ability going. I don't know. I guess it does survive Let the Storm Rage on. Not a fan. Mad Hatter is a super rare that's pretty funny, pretty spicy. You can give it ward with Alice, keep it safe for a little bit. You can bodyguard this thing to keep it safe, and you want to keep it safe because it says whenever this character quests, you may look at the top card of the chosen player's deck, put it on top of their deck or into their discard. So you could discard any card on the top of their deck, or if it's in an uninkable, like a super high cost uninkable, if you want to mess with those red-blue players and guarantee that they're going to get an uninkable card next turn, boom, Mad Hatter is for you. I like it. It's super rare. It's fun in the draft. Not that bad. It's spicy. We like it. A very merry unbirthday. This is one of the few songs that we got in this set. And it's got mill built right in. So not only does Mad Hatter have mill abilities, so does Alice. A very merry unbirthday song that says each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their deck into their discard. We love to see it. They discard 2. We laugh. We say, haha, you get 2 less. But this could also work with, they're not discarding. They're putting those cards in their discard. So that does not trigger Prince John. They are not discarding the card. They're putting the top 2 cards of their deck into their discard. That is not discarding. That is putting it into the discard. Doesn't trigger John, but good for milling the people. This is Genie, and you'll notice that Genie is in the action cards. Like, these are character cards, and then the character cards stop, and then Genie is in the action cards. Why? I don't know. Here, he's cosplaying as the Cave of Wonders, but it's Genie, and we like to see that. The Shift 5, you could play it on to any Genie for Shift 5. Your reward awaits. Whenever you play a card, draw a card. If you play this card, it doesn't count as playing that card for this ability because he's not in play yet, so the ability doesn't go. That was the official ruling. Forbidden Treasure. At the end of your turn, put all the cards in your hand at the bottom of your deck in any order. Dun, dun, dun. It's got the 4/7 stat line, survives Medusa, survives along Kamzu's quest for 2, does weird things. You can stack this ability in the bag weird. You can do some weird things with it. That's all I'll say. Making Magic. Move 1 damage from chosen card. Making Magic. Move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. And it doesn't say and. It's a period and then a thing. Draw a card. So you can still draw a card if you don't move the thing because it's a separate thing. This is draw a card. It's not to draw a card. It's draw a card, which is lovely. It's an action card. Maybe not the best thing to be in action. I like songs. Why aren't there more songs? Did we only literally get 1 song? This is 1 song. Songs are OP. They're stopping the songs. Lose the way. Look at this little dog with his little sweep face, right? He's sweeping with his face. Exert chosen character. Then you may choose and discard a card. If you do, the exerted character can't ready at the start of their next turn. Crazy ways to do Elsa's ability for 2 ink. We like it. Well, when 1's lost, I suppose it's good advice to stay where you are until someone finds you, says Alice. Cool tech. I don't know. Maybe not the best. And I just noticed that Alice is in the background. I never looked at the background. I was always looking at this silly dog sweeping away with his face. But Alice is definitely in the background there. This is seeking the half crown, the half hexwell crown if you do. For each sorcerer you have in play, you pay 1 less ink to play this action. So you have those scars in play. Remember how we said the scar was a sorcerer? For every one of your scars in play, you have 5 scars in play, you play no ink to play this, and draw 2 cards. Drawing 2 cards probably isn't the best. This might be an thing to pair it with Jafar Striking Illusionist, the one that says if you draw cards, gain lore. If it's exerted, it's the Wombo combos. Maleficent Staff is the enchanted of this set that I think is pretty cool. And I don't know what's going on with that. Is that a mirror that she's reflecting in? Whenever one of your opponent's characters, items, or locations is returned to their hand from play, gain 1 lore. So it has to be in play. It has to be bounced back to their hand. They could do it. They could do it with their own snake. If they bounce a character, boom, you get a lore. It's a good deal. We like it. There's lots of spice and lots of sauce, all with this 1 card. We like it a lot. We're going to play with that card here on this channel, so please hit the subscribe button. The Mad Hatter's Teapot, you exert it, you pay 1 ink. Each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their discard. Easy. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Mill them out. They're not going to have any cards. The 4-cost item, Pixie Dust, you exert it for 2 ink. Your chosen character gains Challenger +2 and Evasive until the start of your next turn. So you can keep cards safe with Evasive, and you can also give crazy strong cards right here. While challenging them, they get 2 strength. Only characters with Evasive can challenge them. It's a good deal. That's a little reminder text. That's why it's in the parentheses. That's what's up. And then we have 2 locations right here. We have the ferry ship, the 1/1/4 for 1 lore. It's the Neverland, but on a purple body. We like to see it. It's the Royal Vessel location. And then our last location card, our last card of this whole video that we'll talk about is the Mystical Tree Mama Odie's House location. At the start of your turn, you may move 1 damage from chosen character to chosen opposing character. That's almost the same as her ability, right? And then at the start of your turn, if you have a character here named Mama Odie, gain 1 lore. So it's a bit of a setup to be able to gain a lore with this location, but that's okay. That's just how it is. And lots of these locations that don't have a lore, lots of your opponents won't even challenge them because they're like, you're not going to use that ability. And then boom, you move a Mama Odie there, and then they can't keep up. They can't take it out because it's got the 7 willpower. Who's got 7 willpower? Not a lot of people. I think only Scar has 7 willpower in Amethyst right now, right? This has Challenger 3. Yeah, that's a 7. And then those are 3 enchantments that we talked about. Thank you so much for watching this video. We put out new videos every day. Please hit the subscribe button and like the like button.